there, everybody, and welcome back to another Pinal Prep Spotlight brought to you by Jones Ford Buick GMC, your hometown dealer for more than 50 years. Kicking things off, our game of the week is happening relatively early in the week. You know, it's a Tuesday game, and it is Vista Grande traveling up to Santan Valley to take on Combs. Now, probably by the time you guys are seeing this video, the game will have already happened, but while we're filming, the game still hasn't happened, so we're kind of in between here. David, what are you expecting in this game?
Well, first of all, we're playing a little bit of a Twilight Zone with this one, but still, Vista Grande, you know, they're a really good team, and you know how I said last week that Casa Grande was undefeated when they beat Vista Grande when they two matched up together? Well, the same thing happened with Vista Grande. Since taking that loss to Casa Grande, they haven't lost since, and I think that was a real turning point for this team where it put them on notice. They said, hey, we got to turn things around, we got to be the team that we're supposed to be, and they have done that so far. So, you know, they have a great senior core. It's led by Emilio Barreras and Nathan Acevedo, but they also have some great performances coming from their younger guys as well. In sophomore Sebastian Hidrogo and Ivan Lara, as well as Jordan Rail. He's a really good pitcher, and as well as doing a good job on the hitting side as well. So this team is stacked. They're looking to keep winning against, you know, especially Pinal County rival team as well as a region rival team in Combs. So, you know, I expect them to keep winning and continue on a good run to put them in a good position for the playoffs. And I think this team is really in one of those, like, maybe top 2, top 3 teams that really could have a chance of winning and taking it all when the 4A playoffs come around.
Okay, so these two teams already played once. They played last week on Friday, and in that game, Vista Grande won 7-2. So, you know, I'm not expecting much of the same. I expect Combs to make some adjustments. They were pretty evenly matched as far as hits came, except that Combs had quite a few errors, which is what resulted in Vista Grande having that large margin of win. For Combs, one guy to look out for is Dom Richards. So far, he is batting 0.429. He has an on-base percentage of 0.529 and is slugging .500. Pitching wise, in last week's game, it was all about Peyton Eastman. He's pretty much the go-to guy for the Coyotes, but this time around, you know, I'm thinking the Coyotes might want to give a different look to Vista Grande, and you know they can do that. They have Brandon Sather and Brendan Mendoza, who have been doing a pretty good job. They don't have as much. They haven't seen as much time as Eastman on the mound, but still, you know, they can pretty much get the job done. Otherwise, you know what, Vista Grande, David mentioned their pitching, we got to talk about their hitting, and that starts with one of the guys in Nathan Acevedo. So far, 0.419 batting average, 18 hits, 7 of which have been for extra bases, and he has 15 RBIs. David mentioned, you know, Vista Grande potentially making a playoff push. Right now, they are kind of middle of the pack at number 13 in the AIA Power Rankings, but I think this team still has a lot more room to grow. And if they really do want to, you know, make some noise in the playoffs, they still have to kick it up another notch. David, is there anything else you want to add about this matchup?
Yeah, I like all the things you're saying, but also watch how Combs responds. You know, they haven't done the best against their region rival teams. They lost twice to Post and Butte, lost in their last outing against Vista Grande, and are playing against Knight. Just see how they respond and maybe make some adjustments to do some things a little bit differently than they have been recently, just to kind of, you know, see what works, and they're kind of, you know, plug in different guys and see what happens. I like how you mentioned they might do a little bit difference on the pitching side of things, just to give Vista Grande a different look than what they've seen in the past. So look to see how they respond, and if in these region rival games, because they're always crucial. So look to see how they respond, and this should be a good matchup, I think.
All right, now transitioning over to our softball game of the week. We are sticking with Vista Grande. This game is a Friday night game, and the Spartans are going to be hosting Apache Junction. Also, with softball, you know, this is a middle of the pack in the power rankings matchup. Vista Grande is ranked 13. Apache Junction is number 16. David, what are you looking for in this game?
Well, first of all, on Vista Grande, you know, it was a tough start for them to start the year. They didn't really do a great job, but it seems like they're turning it around a little bit. You know, they've won 4 of their last five games, so they've had a really good run of things as of late. And I think this team has very solid people, especially Selena Perez. You know, she's been on a tear in her senior year. She's batting .529 with 8 extra base hits. 4 of those extra base hits are home runs, so she can hit for power, she can hit for contact, she can do anything at the plate. So she has been a huge piece in getting this team team back to the spot where they want to be, and I expect her to do the same thing in this one. She's kept them in the conversation of like those middle of the pack teams that are looking to move up a bit. So I like what she's doing. I like what Vista Grande is doing as a whole, and I expect them to continue their good run and hopefully put themselves in a good position come playoff time.
Yeah, unfortunately for AJ, we haven't had the chance to see them yet, and Max Preps, their stats are a little bit incomplete. But what I can say is they are under a new head coach this year. The past couple of years, it had been Ed Matlos's team. Not anymore. Now it is Heather Martin's. And looking at this Apache Junction, looking at the prospectors' schedule, they haven't really played some competitive softball. Their toughest opponent so far was Seton Catholic a couple weeks ago. They lost that game 14-1. So it's going to be interesting to see, how these prospectors are adjusting. Pretty much a new team, not many returners from last year's roster, new head coach, new philosophies. We're going to have to wait and see what this team looks like and what they can do against Vista Grande. David, is there anything else you want to add?
I'm glad you brought up the new head coach for Apache Junction because these guys have been, they're kind of a little bit like the baseball team where they're a little bit of a rebuilding stage and they're just trying to find those right pieces. So, like you said, new head coach brings in new philosophies, new different ways to look at the game. So they may just need a little bit more of an adjusting period, but expect Vista Grande to put on another great performance and keep this hot streak going, I think. And Apache Junction on their side, just look for them to find the right players that they want to build around coming in the later years.
Yeah, just one more thing. David mentioned it. Vista Grande. Critical games right now for them. They're in region play right now, and they're still without their star pitcher in Alyssa Tinnen. So right now, all these Spartans have to do is hold on a little bit longer. Hopefully, Tinnen comes back here relatively soon, and if she does, hey, this is going to be a completely different Spartans team, and people are really going to have to be on the lookout for them. That pretty much does it for this week's Games of the Week. Be sure to check out Pinal Central over the week to see how these matchups turn out and check us out next week.